Alright, so this is going to be for our beginners that have never touched Linux before. They don't know how to install it. They don't know what it really is. We're going to try and install it, and from there we can figure out what it is together. So my personal preference in Linux distributions is Linux Mint. So what you're going to need is a Linux Mint ISO. Now what is that? It's essentially a virtual disk which you can then install to a virtual machine or install to a USB drive, which will then allow you to install it to a computer. Now, you could also burn this virtual disk to a DVD or CD, but it's the year 2017, so we're going to be burning this to a USB. Now, where do you find these files? Well, first, Google Linux Mint, or just go straight to linuxmint.com. And you're going to go download, and you're going to get two different download links. Now what are these? Well, right now you're just picking what you want your desktop to look like. It gets a little more complicated than that, but suffice to say, what little components do you want? You can change this after you install. In fact, you can run them both and swap at your leisure, but for now we're just going to pick Cinnamon. If you're curious, you can click on each one, see what they look like. This is Cinnamon. This is Mate. I like Cinnamon. So we're going to download a 64-bit version of that. It's going to bring you to here. You pick a mirror. It's supposed to just pick whichever one's close to you. If you don't know, just pick any one of them. It really doesn't matter. You're going to get your standard download notification, and then you'll be left with this. Now this other file, UNetBootin. I'll just quickly do a Google search for UNetBootin, all one word, and you click on the first one. And right now I'm running Windows, but you can do this for Mac as well. In fact, there's a bunch of other ways to do this in Mac, but we won't be covering that because I don't have a Mac here. Click download, and you'll get a little download pop-up. You can download it to your desktop or wherever. I've already done that. So you're going to double click it. If you're running Windows, you're going to get a little notification, maybe, depends. And then you're left with this. Now what is this? Well, you can pick a distribution of Linux, whatever you prefer, or you can select a disk image, which conveniently we've already downloaded. So you're going to tick that box, and I click the three dots, navigate to your ISO, click open, and then you can write this right to a hard drive or a USB drive, which is what we're going to do. So go ahead, grab your USB drive, stick it into the computer. Now this may not pop up immediately for you, as it's not for me. You just swap over to hard drive and back, and voila, G drive. Then you hit OK, and it'll start writing to the file. It may prompt you with, do you want to erase this drive? You definitely want to, so use a completely empty drive that you're not going to be using. I think you need about a minimum 4 gig drive. Right now we're playing with a 16 gig drive. I would lean towards that if you can get it. But just hit OK. It's going to run through the installer automatically. You don't need to touch anything. It's just going to dump it on the USB drive. A little word of warning, when I was doing this, it gets around, I don't know, 70% or something like that at the very beginning and sticks there for a while. It's not stuck, it's just slow. It's trying to install the main Linux file somewhere, I don't remember where, but believe me, it is working. It's doing stuff. Just let it go. It's going to take 10 minutes. And eventually it'll say done. And you'll get a little pop-up that says, like, would you like to reboot? Or something like that. Just X out of that. Reboot whenever you're ready. I'll see you on the Linux side.